Hello everyone and welcome back to the Easy English Conversations. I am Daniel here with Jennifer and we're thrilled to have you with us today. Yes, welcome everyone. So before we get into today's topic, let's ask you this. Have you ever found yourself in a high pressure moment where your mind just goes blank? Maybe you've studied hard for an exam, but when the paper's in front of you, poof, it's like you've forgotten everything. Or maybe you're talking to someone important trying to impress and all of a sudden you can't remember a single clever thing you've ever said in your life. Trust us, we've all been there, and that's why we're so excited about today's episode. Have you noticed we've been talking a lot about listening as a key to improving your English? Well, today we're putting that talk into action. Absolutely. Today we're introducing Lucy, who'll be sharing some great insights on staying calm under pressure. Lucy has this amazing talent. She can explain psychological concepts in such a fun and easy to understand way. It's like chatting with a friend who just gets it. And let's face it, pressure happens to all of us, right? Whether it's a job interview, an exam, or even meeting someone new, Lucy's going to give us a fresh way to look at those oh no moments so we don't just freeze up. So get ready to pick up some new words and phrases. You'll want to keep these handy for those nerve-wracking situations. And who knows, after hearing from Lucy, you might find yourself a little less likely to choke under pressure yourself. We're excited to jump into it. Now let's bring Lucy on and hear what she has to say about staying calm, confident, and focused when it really counts. Let's get into it. Once there was a young bird learning to fly. Every day it practiced flapping its wings, jumping from branch to branch. One morning the bird felt ready to take its first real flight. It climbed to a higher branch, took a deep breath, and leaped into the air. But suddenly fear gripped the bird. It forgot how to flap its wings and began to fall. Just before hitting the ground, it managed to remember and flew back up to safety. The bird wondered, why did I forget what I practiced so many times? The story of the young bird is much like how we sometimes feel when we face important moments. We prepare and practice, but when the time comes we might freeze or forget what to do. This feeling is known as choking under pressure. Have you ever heard the saying, pressure makes diamonds? It means that challenges can bring out the best in us, but sometimes too much pressure can make us stumble instead. Why does this happen? Many people think that if we prepare well, we'll always do our best, but choking under pressure shows that this isn't always true. Even if we practice a lot, stress can affect us in surprising ways. For example, a student might study hard for a test, but forget answers during the exam. An athlete might train every day, but miss a crucial shot in a game. One common misunderstanding is that choking happens because we're not good enough, but that's not always the case. Often it's because we care so much about doing well that we think we focus too much on the outcome instead of the process. This can make us nervous and cause us to make mistakes. Choking under pressure is when our worries take over. Instead of trusting ourselves, we start to doubt. We might think, what if I fail, or everyone is watching me? These thoughts can block our minds, making it hard to remember what we've learned. In different cultures and times, people have looked at pressure in various ways. In some places, pressure is seen as a motivator, pushing people to achieve great things. In others, it's viewed as something to be managed carefully. Throughout history, many have struggled with performing under pressure, showing that it's a common human experience. So how can we handle choking under pressure? One important step is to accept that it's okay to feel nervous. Being kind to ourselves can help reduce anxiety. Remember, nobody is perfect and everyone makes mistakes. Society often tells us that we must always be the best. This can create extra stress, but it's important to focus on our own journey, not what others expect from us. By setting personal goals and valuing our efforts, we can find satisfaction in the process. Consider the story of Dan O'Brien, a famous American athlete. Dan was a talented diathlete, competing in 10 different track and field events. In the early 1990s, he was expected to win a gold medal at the Olympics, but during the 1992 U.S. Olympic trials, he faced a big challenge. He needed to clear a certain height in the pole vault. He had done it many times before, so it seemed simple, but that day he failed on his first try. Then he failed again. The pressure built up. On his final attempt, he couldn't clear the height. Dan didn't make the Olympic team that year. Dan later said, I was thinking too much about everything instead of just doing what I knew how to do. I got stuck in my head. His experience shows that even the best athletes can choke under pressure, but Dan didn't give up. He learned from his experience and worked on managing his stress. In 1996, he returned to the Olympics, stayed calm, and won the gold medal in the decathlon. Choking under pressure can happen in many ways. It might be forgetting lines during a speech, missing a note in a musical performance, or freezing in a job interview. But it's important to know that there's no single way it happens, and there's no single way to fix it. Let's revisit the phrase, Pressure makes diamonds. While challenges can help us grow, too much pressure can overwhelm us. It's okay to feel pressure, but we need to find ways to cope with it. Think about your own experiences. Have you ever felt so nervous that you couldn't perform as you wanted? It's helpful to share these feelings with others. Talking to friends or family can make us feel less alone. To find our way through pressure, sometimes we need to change how we face these challenging moments. Imagine a painter who not only works alone in a studio but also paints in a busy park. At first, the crowds might make the painter nervous, but over time the presence of others becomes part of the experience. By practicing in different settings, the painter becomes comfortable creating art, no matter who's watching. In the same way, when we put ourselves in situations that are a bit stressful during practice, the real event doesn't feel so overwhelming. It's also helpful to pay attention to what we're doing right now instead of worrying about what might happen next. When we focus on each small step, our minds stay grounded. Think of a tightrope walker who concentrates on each movement, one foot after the other. By staying present, they keep their balance. We can do the same by immersing ourselves in the moment, letting go of fears about the future. Sometimes the voice inside our head can be our biggest critic. It might say things like, "What if I fail?" or "I'm not good enough," but we have the power to change that voice into one that supports us. We can gently tell ourselves, "I've prepared for this," or "I can handle this challenge." By encouraging ourselves with kind words, we build confidence and reduce anxiety when we feel tension rising. Taking a few deep breaths can make a big difference. Slowly inhaling and exhaling helps to calm our bodies. It's like a wave washing over us, carrying away stress. Deep breathing gives us a moment to pause and reset, allowing clarity to return. Another helpful technique is to imagine ourselves succeeding. Athletes often use this method. A runner might picture crossing the finish line strong and fast. A musician might visualize playing each note perfectly. By seeing ourselves achieve our goals in our minds, we prepare ourselves to make it happen in reality. This positive imagery can boost our belief in ourselves. Remember, everyone experiences pressure. Even famous people like Dan O'Brien have faced challenges. What matters is how we respond to it. As we understand more about choking under pressure, we realize that it's a normal part of life. By accepting it and finding ways to cope, we can reduce its impact. In closing, think about the young bird learning to fly. It faced fear, but kept trying. Eventually, it soared through the sky. Like the bird, we can overcome our fears and find our wings. So next time you feel the pressure building, take a deep breath, be kind to yourself, know that it's okay to feel nervous. With patience and practice, you can rise above the pressure. Important vocabulary and phrases. Flapping its wings, meaning moving wings up and down, often a bird's movement to fly. Example, the bird kept flapping its wings until it was strong enough to fly. Take a deep breath, meaning breathing in deeply to calm oneself or prepare for something. Example, before her speech, she took a deep breath to calm her nerves. Gripped by fear, meaning feeling sudden intense fear that is hard to shake. Example, when he saw the large dog, he was gripped by fear. Choking under pressure, meaning failing to perform well because of intense stress or pressure. Example, even the best player can choke under pressure in big games. Pressure makes diamonds, meaning difficult situations can bring out the best in us. Example, she believed that pressure makes diamonds and used it to stay positive. Stumble, meaning to make a mistake or lose confidence, especially under pressure. Example, he studied hard, but he stumbled during the final exam. Doubt, meaning to feel uncertain or question oneself. Example, she doubted herself before the presentation, wondering if she was ready. Getting stuck in one's head, meaning overthinking, which leads to poor performance or inaction. Example, he kept getting stuck in his head thinking of what could go wrong. Freeze, meaning to stop or be unable to act due to fear or pressure. Example, she froze when the teacher called on her to answer. Nervous, meaning feeling anxious or uneasy. Example, he felt nervous before his first job interview. Staying grounded, meaning staying calm and focused, not letting worries take over. Example, by focusing on his breathing, he stayed grounded during the meeting. Tension rising, meaning feeling the stress or anxiety increasing. Example, she felt the tension rising as the deadline approached. Taking a few deep breaths, meaning a technique to calm oneself by breathing deeply. Example, when he got angry, he took a few deep breaths to relax. Visualize success, meaning mentally picturing oneself achieving a goal to build confidence. Example, she visualized success before the race, imagining herself winning. Overcome, meaning to successfully deal with a problem or fear. Example, with support, he overcame his fear of public speaking. Well, that wraps up today's episode. We hope you enjoyed learning how to stay calm under pressure and picked up some useful vocabulary and phrases from today's lesson. Thanks for listening to the English Leap podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe and check out the episode PDF. With all the tips, it's a great way to keep everything handy as you practice MHM and keep listening. The more you practice, the better you'll get. We're here every week to help you take your English skills to the next level. See you in the next episode, everyone. Until then, keep calm, stay grounded, and keep leaping toward your English goals. Bye for now, and happy learning. Your progress doesn't end here. To continue advancing your English skills, click on the next video or explore the additional videos we've thoughtfully selected for you.